you just said there, that Krystal is just a media person and you wouldn't consider left or right. Is that really the position you've had? You would say that Krystal's just a totally independent media figure?
No, I think she's left wing. No, I think she's left wing, but I do think that she's a journalist and she's not just there to give hand jobs to senators. And yeah, I agree. Like, I haven't seen the interview. I'm not saying that I've seen the interview, but it doesn't surprise me that she's been pressing on Israel. I'm going to be honest, like, because of what's going on in Israel, in Gaza, and the Democratic Party, what many people feel like is lack of leadership on that issue. And she's, speaking voice now to a growing resentment of the Democratic Party and its members, not just its leaders, right? The people, the Democratic
If he has a retainer, why doesn't he check out? He probably doesn't think it's a big deal.
members have soured on Israel. And so in that sense, like, yeah, maybe she's given an antagonistic interview to the candidate / leader of the Democratic people, but people's approval, the Democrats' approval of Democratic Party is shambolic. And so maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay to do that.
The framing on this issue is so bad. If you like, when people say people are super pissed off about Israel Palestine, that should be a reason to vote in larger margins for the Democrats than to abstain from voting altogether. And the only reason why somebody could justify abstaining, why you get almost 20 percentage points of voters in Dearborn for Jill Stein, is because voters were hoodwinked by socialists and communists that Democrats and Republicans had the same position on this issue, and that somehow that we can say like a 50-vote Senate for Biden is like the best the Democrats can do.
And your solution is what? I mean,
you wear a retainer to sleep, not streams. Not necessarily. You can wear a retainer whenever you want to retain it. I don't know. Like you don't
like it's to give them more votes.
No.
You think that Biden with 54
I want that. No,
senators?
I want that. But like it seems counterintuitive because like when the moderates, right? When people
honestly, Pisco also makes me mad. So honestly, like listen, I don't blame Destiny for wanting to like debate. Like he's in bed right now and he's like debating Pisco, and he probably like doesn't want to take out his retainer because he's too angry. So
people say you lost the moderates.
I understand.
Usually the response is you should appeal to the moderates.
This guy's
or like when you lose the voters in Dearborn, maybe you should appeal to the voters in Dearborn. I don't understand why the response from an electoral perspective is control the information streams, which you're never gonna do. They just exist in an informational niche, which we're unable. We don't have. If we wanted to, we'd be unable to stop them from having the kind of assuming it's significant, the significant impact that they have. And so I just don't understand.
That's literally where we live, is the information stream. If we say that we can't win that, then run a ton of ads, because like the war is over, right? Because this is where Republicans dominate. Like if I would have bet you, 10 months ago, or if anybody would have bet me 10 months ago, do you think that fucking Trump could admit to fucking trafficking that woman at Mar-a-Lago to fucking Epstein and his fan base wouldn't care? I would have said, no, that's obviously the breaking point. It would be way over before that. And holy shit, where are we at? Like, there has to be some level of like support for the Democratic Party. It can't be that like we lost the election and now we have to appeal to a group of people who fundamentally disagree with the entire existence of the Democratic Party and want to reform it into a socialist party.
And what Josiah and I have done, and Econoboy, I think as well, is regardless of this whole socialist thing, which I think is like it's.
Whoa, hey, you excluding Hutch there, buddy? And what Josiah and I have done, and Econoboy as well. I think you might be missing a co-host.
To me, it's not as important, and maybe I could be fucking clueless about that. I could be clueless about Marxist-Leninism. I could be all that shit. But what we've done is we've decided to focus on MAGA, the crimes of MAGA, the attacks of Trump, the what's going on in our institution. I go on to Krystal Ball's show last week, Breaking Points, to talk about how Trump is fucking up in every conceivable way on the Epstein issue, how he's fucking up in every conceivable way with respect to the due process issue. Like the last time, before that, I was also talking about immigration. Like I go on these shows and these platforms. I actually had the Vanguard on separately. Maybe you guys, if you want to find more clips of me like being nice to the Vanguard, I had a separate interview with the Vanguard, just me. So if there's anything like bad clips, you can go find that and see if I'm inconsistent. But so go watch that video. It's really great. But in that video, I'm agreeing with the Vanguard in terms of like, this is how bad Trump is. This is why it's bad for Mahmoud Khalil. So what's wrong with that strategy? If we're going to have any effect, it's going to be reaching out to certain people we vehemently disagree with, and making the case that Trump is awful, that we're in fucking hell right now. And I don't know what's wrong with that.
Here's the problem. This is what it's not enough to say. It's not enough to say that Trump is bad. You have to say that the Democrat is better.
I do say that.
That's not a thing that I don't think any of these people would admit.
Well, what you mean is they don't admit it. They literally do admit it when they say they voted for them. Now that's cold comfort. It's not enough. I agree. It's not enough. But they do admit the Democrats are preferable. Kyle does admit that. Krystal.
Well, yeah, but then again, what you want out of them is enthusiastic support, right? Like, you don't want to just shit on the Dems all day and then go like, well, time to vote for the Dems, right? No, who the fuck would vote for the Democrats at that point, right? There's no point, right? Like, what exactly is the point of voting for Democrats when you just spent the entire show shitting on them, right? That sounds ridiculous to me.
Does admit that. Krystal had a whole debate with Cenk Uygur about why it was.
I watched that debate. Yeah,
and she did. She did amazing. So, like, it's just not true. These people don't acknowledge the benefit of the Democrats. The problem is, sometimes they have critiques that are unhinged, untrue. We don't agree with. They go too far. I get it. Some of them, I don't even put in the same bucket Hassan Piker and these other people who I'm not trying to build bridges with, but the resistance. Saying that when I look at when I saw that Hassan mentioned me on a stream. Do you know all the ats were?
What Pisco is failing to understand in order to get normies who don't pay attention to politics to go vote is being excited to vote. Exactly. Why the fuck would you go and vote if you already feel like all doom and gloom about everything? Have you guys talked to the average fucking? Have you guys talked to the average lefty? They're fucking depressed, miserable people. Okay?
They were like, "You got your wish.
Right?
You got your wish. You just wanted to get in with Hassan." That's what people think of me because of you. That's what people think of me because of your audience. And that's not true. And I resent that a shit ton because that's not what I'm doing.
I don't give a fuck if you resent it, bro. You've been accusing me of being bad faith for the past whole fucking week when I've justified every single fucking argument I've given. And you just spent 20 minutes talking about a clip of me from 10 minutes ago saying I'm a hypocrite on this issue. Like, yeah, online politics fucking sucks. No fucking shit, Sherlock Holmes. You don't have to fucking tell me that. I've been doing it for a decade. Yeah, it's fucking horrible. No shit. But I'm just saying that when you...
Yeah, this is definitely dude, isn't this something you have in a toxic, abusive relationship where you just go well, time to bring up everything that we despise about each other before.
You're trying to appeal to a side of the media where the entire goal of that side is the destruction of the Democratic Party. Listen, I mean, I can disagree and maybe fuck. Listen, you know what? You know what I fucking love? You know what would be the best thing in the world is if 12 months from now I'm on stream eating shit and all of these leftists are like, fuck it, we're gonna support the Democrats, we're gonna fucking canvass for them, and Pisco was so fucking right. I'd be like, oh fuck it, I was totally fucking wrong. The last 10 years weren't indicative of the motion forward, and fuck me, I guess. But in my mind, and I bet money on it with odds, what's going to happen is in 6 to 12 months, all of these guys are going to be shitting on Democrats constantly. The only candidates they're going to support are going to be ones that are avowedly socialist communists, maybe mostly ones that are primarying, the already elected Dems, and that's going to be it. And then at the end of
just a reminder, okay, if you want to support the stream, it would be much appreciated if you would donate. Support me, support your local content creator, okay? Much appreciated. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, okay? So, yeah, just a reminder. Thank you. Super chat, membership. Open your hearts, open your wallets.
The day they're going to continue the rhetoric of both sides are the same. Both sides are the same. Why do you think the Republican Party is so unpopular right now, but the Democratic Party isn't popular at all? It's not just because the Dems suck. It's because literally everybody tells you the Dems suck. The Republicans tell you the Dems suck. The Dems tell you the Dems suck. And
guess
the Socialists tell you
the Dems suck. The leadership right now is
Well, guess what? The reality is that the Dems suck. Well, that's the problem. You're not going to win any elections that way. If you're actually pragmatic, if you're actually pragmatic about all of this, don't you think that you should maybe do a little bit of a strategy change? Do you even care about politics anymore? Is all of this just fun and games to you? You don't acknowledge that people are dying and people are being dragged away and black bagged and sent to El Salvador? Are we living on the same planet right
No,
now.
you agreed with that. You fought with that on the Vanguard. That's the one thing you didn't
what
know.
I mean is the current leadership, the makeup right now, the Dems are in disarray. The leaders are not doing a good job, and I have talked about it. It doesn't make me like my critique bad faith or I'm trying to appeal to lefties. When I say that Joe Biden did a Trumpian thing, I'm not saying that to appeal to tankies. I'm not saying that it's a Trumpian thing to do to like put your family before the country, that kind of thing, and that it's just as bad as what Trump did. I'm not saying it because I'm trying to appeal. Like, what fucking commie is appealing to, like, is listening to that and being like, oh yeah, he's shitting on Biden for the pardon. Most commies are like, oh, I think it's based that he pardoned Hunter. They're like, oh yeah, we love that he pardoned Hunter because he's a good dad. That's usually what the leftist critique is.
Victory has defeated us, guys. Victory has defeated us.
Hey, it's based that he pardoned Hunter because the Dems and the Republicans are the same anyway. And if you want to criticize Joe Biden for pardoning Hunter, Joe Biden made a massive fucking mistake. The mistake was saying that he wouldn't do it. It wasn't actually pardoning him after 3 years of a Republican witch hunt, of the 15th one they've done. It was that he said that he was going to do it. He shouldn't have said he was
you
going
can
to.
say that. You can say that's racist, but my intention when I say
fucking
things like
me?
Joe Biden, he fucked up the election in that sense. He screwed us over. Joe Biden, despite all the good things, I say he's the best president. I still say he's the best president of my lifetime. I still say that, that he did a Trumpian move by closing the border and by pardoning his son. I'm not trying to appeal to commies. And when I criticize Chuck Schumer and say he should retire, when I criticize everyone who voted to censure Al Green, I'm not trying to appeal to commies. I'm trying to make the Democrats better. I'm trying to make the Democrats stronger, because I think if these guys are in charge, we are fucked. We are cooked. And the only way we're going to win an election is just because maybe the Trump is so unpopular. But we're not maximizing our chances by having these people in charge. And so, yeah, I've shit on the Democrats a great deal. Josiah has, Hutch has, Econoboy has. Now, there's some bad faith criticism, there's some good faith criticism, but what you can't say is giving a hard-hitting interview to Alyssa Slotkin is like incompatible with us like going on these shows or like or fundamentally trying to.
It's never just that in a vacuum. It's just that like I agree that Dem leadership is weak, and I shit on the Dems too. I joked that I don't even know if I was joking. I would fucking primary any Dem that voted to censure Al Green. It's fucking insane. Okay, like yeah, they definitely have their problems, but like holy fuck, if you're a Democrat, like I don't know, what are you even building towards and who are you building for, right? Like, what was the constant criticism? Like, these guys need to go out and do podcasts more. They need to go on shows more. I remember joking before the election, if Kamala went on any right-leaning podcast, she'll be eviscerated. Her interview on that, like, CNN, I think it was, with Walz, that was a hard interview. And that was on, like, a liberal platform. And no centrist podcast is going to host her without it being incredibly contentious. And it's like, okay, well, cool. Look, it looks like they're trying to go on and do podcasts now. And the first one she goes on, Sagar or whatever, is nicer than Krystal Ball. Krystal Ball's first question to the senator was why did you even come here? It's like, Jesus Christ.
She gives tough interviews.
Journalism stuff. Like,
Krystal gives hard interviews. She's not like I don't know what to say. She's known for this. Like I don't think that she just when it comes to politicians, especially politicians, because she thinks it's a genocide. Given her view that Israel's committed a genocide on Gaza and on the Palestinian people, it makes complete sense why she would ask that question.
Never gamble,
like,
guys.
just grant her view that she's doing that like she's trying to improve the Democratic. Like imagine that she really thought that the Democratic base is moving significantly towards being pro-Palestinian and anti-Israel. Then in some sense, I don't understand why we wouldn't be pressuring our elected officials to more represent the
I don't think that the Democratic Party is moving to being pro-Palestinian.
I think the polling seems to suggest that. I don't know. Like, if you.
Yeah, dude, yeah, but then again, okay, so if you don't know, I brought this up before, so if you guys do not know, Hassan at some point said, well, you don't understand, right now the polls are shifting in the right direction in terms of pro-Palestinian or whatever the fuck, right? Well, here's the reality of the situation, is that why the fuck does that matter? Hello? Are we like even talking about the same reality here anymore? The reason for this is because right now we're on the precipice of fascism, okay? If we're up for Palestine, if we're up, by the way, I think that is let's just assume that's a fact. Our pace, okay, great. So we got pro-Palestinian rights, okay, but everyone else's rights got taken away in the United States. What do we gain? We gain nothing. We gain fucking jack all. All right, great. So we saved the Palestinians at expense of our own. Okay, what then? What then? What's next? What's next? Seriously. Like, like, are we even talking about the same thing here anymore? Like, are we even living on the same planet?
You seen it?
I think there's. I mean, like when you like, who has more? Like, I have more sympathy for the Palestinians than Israel. Like, how do you have sympathy for the fucking Israelis? Okay, these motherfuckers intercept missiles out of the middle of the sky. I feel like that's. I mean, like people are having more sympathy for the Palestinians, but like when it comes to like the
Just fucking
solutions
awesome,
that a
by the
lot of
way.
the socialist types would implement, like I don't know how many people would vote to like pull all support and all funding from Israel. That's like a much deeper,
Yeah,
much darker question, especially when
I
it
feel like
starts to get debated.
the Democrats' base is basically saying we don't like the leadership. I don't think in that context, that's not just the crazies online. It's not just me and Josiah Conaboy. It is the broad consensus of the Democratic members that
Not changing much, yeah. But like again, like, oh great, so you accomplished the shifting of opinion in terms of like Israel and Palestine. Okay, what now? What about us? What about us? What about the people who live here in the fucking United States? Have you forgotten that we existed?
the people who are currently in charge are not doing a good job and they should be replaced. And I haven't watched the
Don't we
interview,
matter
and so
too?
I don't want to comment. Maybe it was inappropriate. Maybe it was. I don't, in principle, have a problem with that interview or a hard-hitting interview. But in terms of the prescriptions, what I want to know is, how are we fucking up? How am I fucking up? What am I doing wrong that would...
I mean, you just fucked up just now. You were talking about the good things about like how of shifting opinion in terms of Israel versus Palestine. That gets us nothing. First of all, that's not policy, right? Polls does not like transform automatically into policy. That's number one. Okay. Number two, just because like the polls change, and let's just say that actual policy was actually made to help Palestine. Okay, what then? So now we have fascism in the United States. Great. What now? So fascism is now in the United States. Tell me what the fuck we accomplished, please, please,
cause such an
please.
upheaval? Like my mentions are insane. Like people saying shit like you abandoned liberalism. It's crazy.
I mean, like going back to, I guess, the same as before, I think appealing to the values of socialists is the same thing as
Palestine
appealing to the
spoke, yeah.
values of other illiberal groups
And
like Nazis or fascists.
Palestine spoke, and we all lost.
Okay, I haven't.
like, at the end
I
of
don't
the
know
day-
how I've done that. When you say, because if you define socialism in the sense that like of the whatever your version of it is, I don't. How have I done that? We're debating in the Vanguard, for example, like how to implement Biden's strategy, Biden's policy, Biden's promises, Biden's $15 minimum wage, not some crazy.
Okay, I'm curious then. In your if I'm brain broken on this, why do you think Hutch had such a contention with the conversation after it happened? What was his problem?
Okay, I love Hutch. Hutch is my boy.
Oh
Hutch
my
is
god.
wonderful, and I always stand by Hutch.
Okay.
I think
Is that a bust I hear coming that you're about to throw him under?
I'm not throwing him under. I legitimately think this, that when Hutch hears us like granting some amount of agreement, which we legitimately do with the Vanguard, which is basically that Joe Biden should have signaled better, or he should have seemed more strong, he should have postured more, not with the specifics of kicking Manchin out in West Virginia, not with the specifics of actually obtaining the $15 minimum wage from Joe Manchin, which we both acknowledge is impossible, but just with a more macro view of the Vanguard. That is to say that the Democrats should look like they're giving a fuck a little bit more, which I think is a modest take, a modest proposal. I think that Hutch, similar to the audience, which maybe it's reasonable, took that kind of optical stance of us being like, well, we're, middle of the road. On the one hand, Hutch has a point here on the Manchin stuff, but, the Vanguard is saying this. And he took that in the way that many people might have reasonably took, which is that we are trying to both sides it and we're not really having his back here. But it was our honest take, and it is still my opinion. And I was more defensive of Hutch with respect to like the personal comments that the Vanguard had made about like his lip ring and that kind of stuff. And it seemed like they ironed that out at the beginning. And so I wasn't really I was just trying to give my honest take in that moment. And Hutch might have felt a way about that, but I don't think it's because we were genuinely stabbing him in the back or trying to gaslight him.
By the way, I'm just happy that Hutch is not backing down from this fight. From the last time I've seen of Hutch, like Hutch is still on this shit. Like he is still calling out the lefties. He is still like making sure that the coalition stays purely like liberal and shit, like or something like that. It feels like him and Destiny are literally the only ones who are like fucking doing anything. Honestly,
I promise you,
I'm too small to make it.
I was like, no, sorry. I promise you I'm not gaslight. I promise you that I am just formulating my opinion in real time and being honest about it. But people took that.
If you had to, I'm just curious, if you had to guess for like a live and learn audience right now, if you had to guess what percentage of them voted for Kamala in the last election, in your mind, what do you peg that percentage at?
90.
Okay. And then if you had to feel like what percentage of them would have like enthusiastically supported Kamala as a candidate against Trump, not just hated Trump, but enthusiastically supported Kamala as a candidate, in your mind, what is that at?
My intuition is 80. I don't know.
Enthusiastic.
Okay. In my mind, those numbers are like 50-20. No, not that, but like 60-40 is where I'm
I have a lot of conservatives in my chat. I have a lot of Trump
sure. Well, then
I don't know.
Those. Sure, that's not fair.
But I think that most of the people who watch my shit are Dems. I do Dem porn. I talk about how shitty Trump is half the time.
Dude.
And when
I don't understand if you. I don't know if you get this now. When you keep saying I just talk about how shitty Trump is, like that's the end. They agree with you there. Like like socialists will agree with you that Trump is bad, but they're just going to say that the Dems are about the same.
Continue to grow, hopefully. Dude, again, I know I've been getting high concurrent numbers, but again, nothing is forever, and I have seen the biggest content creators rise and fall. Okay, so like again, it's just like, and people who have blew up out of nowhere rise and fall. So the thing is that like again, it's just something I'm very wary about naturally, or whatever, from knowing the space intimately.
Okay, my intuition is that these people acknowledge, like, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I look at my post history, look at my
Twitter. I'm just curious. Like, I see like there's tweets like you're like shitting on like fucking Cory Booker and stuff. And it's like, Jesus Christ. Like,
yeah, Cory Booker can be cringe. Cory Booker is cringe in many respects. Now, I think Cory Booker sometimes is based.
He's one of the only ones doing anything at the moment.
Yeah, he stood up for 28 hours.
What do you want? Yeah, Cory Booker's cringe. Like the guy's like,
I don't know. All I'm telling you is Cory Booker sometimes does cringe things. That I've known who Cory Booker is now for years. I'm not telling you that Cory Booker, you shouldn't vote for Cory Booker. Would need to know the context of the tweet about Cory Booker. Now, I saw what he said about Pete Buttigieg. I think that's fucking stupid and wrong. And Pete Buttigieg, I would be proud to support Buttigieg. And if it came down to it and we're still talking shit and he were the nominee, you better believe I'm going to go on those streams and be like, why are you saying don't vote for Buttigieg? Why are you not enthusiastically supporting Buttigieg? Like I did in the lead up to the 2024 election when I was debating vigorously with lefties about not, including Ogre Boy, who just fucking talk shit to you. I was debating them vigorously to vote for Kamala Harris enthusiastically. So to act as though I wouldn't stand on business when we have a nominee, or like part of the whole thing of the beauty of the Democratic nomination process, which you've acknowledged, is to suss out what the direction of the party is going to be. This is the time when the Democrats need to define themselves. And so if there's ever a moment for internal critique, if there's ever a moment for us to decide what the direction is, it would be now. And so I'm going to be much more accommodating of that kind of disagreement here in steadying the ship perhaps towards them. Okay, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad.
Okay, I don't necessarily disagree with you here, but wait. There's a limit though to like what can happen in the primary process, right? So like if there's two candidates and one is like $7 an hour minimum wage and the other's like 15 an hour minimum wage, and I look at the 7-hour minimum wage person, I'm like, this person wants to, I think this is almost like a slave labor wage. I don't think this is good. Like this is horrible. If that person wins the primary, I can like kind of begrudgingly like, okay, yeah, well, whatever, fine, we'll support this person. But if I spend the entire fucking primary calling this person a child rapist or calling them Genocide Joe, how the fuck am I
Yep.
ever expecting that group of people? Like you said earlier, if you really believe that Krystal Ball believes that there's a genocide going on, and she's
Remember, all Destiny points come from me. Okay, there you go. Kidding. I got this one specifically from Destiny.
going to push hard on the whoever she comes to interview. Well, if all the socialists literally believe that it's an actual genocide and the Democrats are complicit in it, holy fuck! How do you vote for fucking like Hitler Jr.? Like, I don't think you can get them on your side at that point. I don't think they're ever going to join.
It's tough, but like I can't change them into not believing that. First of all, because I do believe it.
I thought that was the entire point. I thought literally that was the entire point, is that like you wanted to change them. I thought like that was literally what we were trying to fight for. Has the mission statement changed now? Are we? What?
Because one is because I do affirm it and I do believe it now, that it is a genocide. Put that aside. But
oh my
separately,
God.
Like even if I didn't, I can't change that notion. I can't change their mind on that.
You can't change it, but like if you can't change it, like that's part of my point. There's too many beliefs that can't be changed without sacrificing like the whole mast of the ship of the party. Because now you have to basically become socialist or quasi-socialist, and then you're gonna end up bleeding off like half the party doing that because your base are your moderate lefts.
I think that more and more people, you're seeing in the polling that yes, this is a very divisive issue, but the Netanyahu in Israel is not popular right now, and it's.
We keep saying that, but you know what's really not popular is socialists. Like how many?
Yeah.
How many years, decades have we heard that it's like, this is the election series, this is the time where they're all going to come out, and resoundingly, they get crushed over and over and over again. Like, why do we think that this is the path forward?
I don't think if what you mean by socialism, is tankyism or Marxist-Leninism, I don't think it's the way forward. But we have Mamdani, AOC. You think AOC might be the way forward? That's not socialism in your mind. So if that's what people mean by socialism, if that's what people think is the way forward, people like AOC and Bernie, great. And if people have, are too harsh on those people, I'm going to fight them for sure. And I will support people like AOC and Bernie. And I agree that they're not left enough for the purists and for the lefties and that kind of shit. But at the end of the day, like, what am I to do? I'm going to try to marshal what I can. I'm going to try to push people in the right direction when I can to vote for the Democratic candidate. And I don't think any mainstream Democrat right now is the worry. The worry is, as you mentioned, right, like the media class.
I think when you say what you do, I think it's pushing and building on the Democratic side of things, not joining a media apparatus that almost exclusively rewards only attacking the Republicans and then only shitting on Dems. Because if you wanted to join right now and do media, you're either a Republican or you're somebody that's probably going to spend a lot of time shitting on the Dems and then maybe also attacking the Republicans. And like, that's it. Like in the left-wing media apparatus, that's all there is. And I just think it's really sad that, like, now how do we appeal to these people who have all built careers out of just relentlessly attacking establishment Democrats?
You say that, but there's just no example of me doing that, right? I get that some people.
No, not you, but you.
No, it's not you, but you enable and associate with these people, and that's the problem, right? Like, dude, like I still don't get why Pisco is not getting the point. I still don't, dude. He just asked, fuck me, dude.
You guys have a show called Live and Learn, where now 1/4 of your cast are socialist, and now you're like.
But what he means by socialist, I get, but I respect his truth. That's what he means by socialist. But you take issue with that label, even though it doesn't match what your vision is of socialist.
I don't necessarily take issue with the label. I respect his truth too. Okay, I don't think he's a secret tanky, but what he sees as his new label, other people see as an opportunity to infect and then spread the anti-liberal ideology. Like, it's not like. Like, if it was like, if we were in a room full of clones of Bernie Sanders and AOCs and Econo boys, like, well, fuck it, let's appeal to socialists. I don't give a fuck at that point, sure. But if we were in a room full of fucking Stalins and Lenins and all these people, and then Econo boy, jumps in, he's like, hey, I'm a socialist. Like, we should appeal to these guys, right? I'm like, let's go to the fucking other room.
So what do I do? What do I do? So Econo boy has this whole position about what, first of all, I think capitalism is based. I've always been like in favor of private capitalism, but what do you want me to do about it? Like, Econo boy, let's have a conversation about communism, a conversation that you think that I'm not even equipped for. And like, what do you want me to do about that? Like, he has his position. It's grounded in this history of the socialist traditions in these other countries, in these various countries. I can't refute that. He's not going to be convinced by me. So you want to have a fucking struggle session every 2 seconds about you should be a communism.
I don't think there'd be a debate on him all the time. I think if you think that there are reasons why he's a socialist that have like
you don't give a shit about this, dude. You don't really give a shit about this. You're not scared of Econo boy. You're not really scared that Econo boy is going to be a fucking he's going to be the Trojan horse by which we enter in 1,000-year Reich of Marxist-Leninism. You're not actually scared about that. I refuse to believe that.
Like, the 2 largest leftist streamers in the fucking world literally did that to me. That's literally my life. That they came into my community and sucked dems. And they are the largest streamers on the left now, and they're fucking. Yep. Hassan is an avowed ML, and I don't know where the fuck Vosh is on his